I thought, if I can actually help artists become successful and be able to earn a living from their art, then the more I'm able to do that, the more successful I'll be and the more money I'll make. So I got my head around that. So that had been going really well for the last 5 years. We've done over 600,000 in sales of my online courses.
Hey everyone, Melanie Johnson here at the Elite Publishing Podcast. We're all about writing and publishing your book, giving you the best knowledge and interviewing authors who can give you some insight on what they've done and how they wrote their book and made it successful. Today we have Tim Packer. He is an artist. He has written a book that he did self-published. It says, "You Can Sell Your Art." First of all, he's a great artist, and he is now teaching people how to use their art to actually get money from their art and become successful commercial artists. Tim, thanks for coming today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So tell us, you've been a successful artist, you've started courses and are now leaving a legacy of teaching people how to become a successful commercial artist. Tell us, why did you want to write your book?
Yeah, that's another bit of a long story, but I almost died twice in 2019. I
Oh
had
my gosh.
like my thyroid went crazy. So that whole year, my health was up and down, but twice I was lying in a gurney in the hospital with my wife there, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be here in a few minutes. And the doctors weren't sure either. You can tell when the doctors are panicking. But when that happens, it really makes you stop and think. And so two things that really came to me during those times when I thought I might not be here, I wasn't afraid. I wasn't panicked. I just was overwhelmed with gratitude. I was just
Yeah.
really thinking, if this is it, and I'm about to find what's on the other side, I just want to say thank you, because I'd been able to live a life beyond my wildest dreams. And there was like no regret.
Mhm.
And I just thought how wonderful that was. And that
Yeah.
still colors how I think about life today and live my life. But over the course of that year, again, as I thought more deeply, I realized I did have one small regret. And so back in 2015, I'd made a decision that I was going to start sharing everything I'd learned with other artists. So that's when I started my YouTube channel. I'd also mentored a young artist by the name of Brooke Cormier, who has gone on to like amazing success.
Yeah.
And I was doing my YouTube, but I was just doing it as a bit of a side passion project. I wasn't trying to
Mhm.
monetize it at all. I was just doing it for free, just doing it in my spare time. And
Yeah.
I thought there was something noble about that. I'm just doing it for free and I'm not charging artists, I'm giving it away. And I had actually, and then while I was thinking, again, during that year that I was sick, I thought, I've been playing it small. If I really want my impact and my legacy to be helping other artists, I really need to dig in and do this full time. And
Yeah.
then I thought the only way I can do that is if I make it a successful business as well, because that's going to take a lot of time away from the painting. And I had to wrap my head around the fact the only way I could be really successful with it is if I really helped a lot of people, right? Because I had this
Yeah.
thing about, I don't want to make money off starving artists. I want to make my money off my rich clients. But I
Yeah.
thought, if I can actually help artists become successful and be able to earn a living from their art, then the more I'm able to do that, the more successful I'll be and the more money I'll make. So I got my head around that. So that had been going really well for the last 5 years. We've done over 600,000 in sales of my online courses. And I kept just hearing from my students, like, we need a book, because on my website, there's probably 40 hours of course content. But if they want to find out, how do I go about pricing my art for a festival? They want to
Mhm.
be able to just pick up the book and flip through to that page and find it, right? And so
Yeah.
I'd been resisting that for a couple of years, and then I just realized, again, if I want to have the impact that I want, I need to do this. So I spent, basically, it was in the start of 2024 that I started writing the book. We had it, I thought I had it finished about 4 months later. Turns out there was about another 10 rewrites and edits of it. But we launched it in January this year, and it's done really well.
So what was your writing process? Did you like write a little bit every day? Did you like go away for a weekend?
Yeah, I got up every day and wrote for probably from like about 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock in the morning.
Uh-huh.
And initially just started writing. First of all, just breaking down, what are the things I want to talk about here? What is the order that
Yeah.
kind of makes sense in this, and probably came up with the first 20 chapters pretty easily, that okay, I need a chapter on each of these. And then I would just kind of work my way through. And then I would send, my son works for me full time. So I would send them to him and get his feedback on them.
Yeah.
And then we finally had what I thought was the book just as a PDF. And then I'm lucky I've got a ready pool of readers, because I've got about 300 people in my Hungry Artist community, which is the highest level in
Huh.
my art academy. So I sent a PDF out to all of them and asked for their input. And I got input. And the first one I got is that, Tim, this is not a book, this is two books. So the which was great, because it turns out, I know now, the best way to be successful as an author is to have a series of books.
Right.
So the first book was this book, it's about developing your art to the point where you actually have a viable product that you can make a living
Yeah.
from, and then how to actually get to selling your work till you're making in that $30,000-$40,000 a year range. And then the second book is going to be how to scale your income. That's getting into doing limited
Mm,
edition prints, into teaching, into online courses,
yeah.
into licensing, all of that kind of stuff. But anyways, and they also said to me, Tim, like, I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I like to laugh. I like to have fun. So in our online meetings, I'm always cracking jokes and stuff. And they said, this book is way too serious. It's like, you're telling the truth, but they can't handle the truth, right? So you need to lighten up the tone of the book.
Mhm.
So we did that. And then again, just many rewrites until finally, and it's so appealing to want to just say you're done. But
Yeah.
I thought, I've spent all of this time. I don't want to release this until I can read through that book from cover to cover and not have one thing where I go, oh, I could maybe say that better, or that's a little awkward. So it was just, I don't know, probably 10 or 15 times we thought we had it finished, and I would upload it, and then I'd go back and reread it again. And it's, no, I don't like that sentence. I don't like that paragraph. So we're really meticulous about that we wanted it to be as good as it possibly could be. And then we got into the marketing of it, which started about 5 months before we actually launched.
That was really smart. And I will tell you, the things you did right was you had what we call beta readers. You gave the
Yeah.
PDF out to people that were your actual audience. And then rewriting, you get so tired of looking at your manuscript again. It's, oh my gosh, I got to read it all again. And it is time consuming and committed. And then sometimes we get to a point where we tell the author, okay, perfect is perfect enough.
Yeah.
Get it a physical copy and then go through it again and reading it. But I love that you really, it was like almost like the artist in you, like the painting's not done yet, the
Yes.
book wasn't done yet. Tell us what you did for the marketing side.
So the very first thing that we did, so I have a pretty engaged following online on YouTube. YouTube in particular, I find, is really good for teaching part of stuff, especially when I'm teaching stuff about like becoming a successful artist, right? That
Yeah.
whole thing. I find on Instagram, Facebook, when you're limited to 30 seconds or a minute, I sound like a snake oil salesman, right? So
Yeah.
on YouTube, I can have a 15 or 20-minute video where I'm explaining some concept, either about
Mhm.
creating art or the business of being an artist,
Yeah.
and really giving people value where they're going to go, okay, now I'd be interested to hear what this guy has to say. And so what we started doing 5 months before we launched is we had 5 free chapters on my site that they could go and get 5 free chapters of the book. So that, and the same way that I do like the ManyChat flow on Instagram and Facebook,
Mhm.
so in any YouTube video at the very end, I would just say, and if you'd like to read 5 free chapters from my book, you can just click on the link in the description. That would take them to a landing page where they give us their email and name, and then we email them the 5 free chapters. And then I did that on Facebook, Instagram, that kind of thing too. Just I
Yeah.
do those. So I do those silly reveals of my paintings. I did a reveal where I had a canvas panel. When I turned it around, I had printed out the cover of the book on there. And it was like, guess who's got a, but the same thing. If you want to
Yeah.
read 5 free chapters, then so we had 3,000 emails of people who had read the free chapters when we launched the book.
Wow.
And
So you're
so
getting a lot of views on your social media, obviously,
yes, yeah. And so,
because you
and
didn't
again,
run
that,
ads. This is all organic.
all organic. So we still haven't paid for any ads.
Mhm.
And so when the book launched, 7-day launch period. So we started it off with the email. that went out, but
Yeah.
then we had an email went out every day. So we had a 7-day email sequence out to my email subscribers. We also did a 7-day sequence of Facebook and Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube, all that promoting the book. And so it was offered as a discount. And then I
Uh-huh.
also offered them a free course if they
Yeah.
bought during the launch. And so then at the back of the book, and we had to figure out, okay, how are we going to do that? Because I also want to capture the emails of people who buy my book just from Amazon, right?
Which is hard. Yeah.
We had it at the end of the book, we had the bonus chapters where it explained that thank you for buying the book, and a special bonus for buying during launch, I can offer you my free course, Creating Your Plan for Success, which is part of it's part of a bundle of courses that I offer, but this
Yeah.
one course is really helpful. So, but it was like, to claim your bonus, you need to go to this website and click there, give us your name and email, and then we'll send you the link to the course. But now I've got their email to remarket my courses, to market my next book. And I spent probably 40 hours of watching YouTube videos on book launches and basically every single tip that someone had about, we did it all. We thought and it was a very stressful week and a very hectic, busy week. But I thought, again, I've done all this work into writing this book.
Yeah.
It's not going to not succeed because we didn't follow through on every aspect of it. And then now we're still doing it. I still do about once a week. I'll do a post on my social media about the book.
Yeah.
What I'm doing now, so there's 38 chapters in the book. That's going to be 38 YouTube videos. And at the end of each video, this was chapter 1 in my book. And if you'd like to read 5 free chapters, kind of click here, because the conversion from those 5 free chapters is a lot. But we launched and we did amazing. I think by the end of the second day, it already had the bestseller button on it. And we've gotten, I think, 64 reviews, all 5-star from
That's
around the
amazing.
world. It's only been out for 2 months now, and we're having steady sales. And we're going to start thinking about doing the Amazon ads, just because, again, I know that can also boost its exposure. But yeah, but I'll be continuing to market the book with all of my other course content going
Well, I'll give
forward.
you a couple tips being
Sure.
been that I've been a publisher for a
Yep.
decade. So what you want to do is that Amazon gives you a free Amazon author profile.
Yep.
So you want to connect that. It'll be when you go into your KDP account. So you want to do that, and you can put your bio there.
Okay.
And then when you do your next book, you'll connect your next book to that. So you want to claim your book. So
Yep.
then when I click on that, it'll show me your bio, and then it'll show me, take you to your books, and I can look at all your books right there. And also what that does, it gives you more SEO. So
Okay.
Amazon will populate that page as well as just your book, the page to buy your book.
Yep.
Then the other thing, you were brilliant in having the call to action in your book. And it's great that it's in there. It's okay. Keep it at the end. But one of our secrets is to add it. So go in, edit your book, maybe re-upload it, add that call to action in the beginning. Because what that does is someone previews your book, they see the call to action. They might not even buy your book, but they might go to the call to action to get the free course. And now, again, the point is to capture their email, to retarget them, to
Yep.
sell them the other things that you want to sell them. So usually we put it in the beginning. Sometimes we put it at the beginning and the end, but always try and put it so it's during that preview that's there.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Then there's also a little thing that's called A+ content. It's usually, I think, under the resources, and you can put highlights from the book there, but you can also put graphics of your art there too if you want. So it's really like a beautiful graphic page that people can see without even looking inside the book. They can get some input of what's in there. And then I didn't look, but did you also publish on Ingram?
We plan on doing that. We plan on the audiobook. It was like we just decided to focus on the one first.
Yeah.
And then now I'm back painting too, and again creating more courses too. But yeah, we will launch on Ingram.
Yeah, definitely
Right
do that.
now we're doing what's the Amazon one where the people pay a monthly fee for. We're just doing that like with the ebook. We're not
Oh,
releasing a
the
Kobo.
Kindle Select. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we decided to try and keep things simple and just get it right on one platform. But yeah, we will be doing on Ingram Spark as well, and then we'll be doing an audio book too, and figure out where we're going to market
And then
that.
another great thing, because you're going to make each chapter YouTube video and you'll have your audio book. What we're doing now for our authors, we're turning their audio book into a podcast. So you can upload each chapter and make it a podcast and have it, then it's on Apple and Spotify and these other places. And again, people just consume content in different ways.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden you've got the same content that's over there and people are like, well, it's free. Yeah, but the point is you want to get them to be part of your community
Yeah,
and
that's
join
it.
part of
Biggest thing I think that a lot of people have a misconception that I don't want to give away too much. It's no, the more you give away, the more people are going to want to work with you in
it.
whatever else you have to offer. And my whole thing is try to over deliver on everything you do. If you give people way more value than what they are expecting, they are going to come
Mhm.
back. And then not only that, there's that whole human emotion of reciprocity that people feel they owe you. I remember I learned so much about social media from watching Gary Vaynerchuk. That was the guy that kind of
Yeah.
turned it on for me. When he launched a brand of t-shirts, of 7 different t-shirts with 7 different sayings of his sayings on them, I bought all 7. Not because I needed the t-shirts, but because I was really grateful for all of the free information he had given me. And
Yeah.
so it's the world is an abundant place.
Is.
Yeah.
I love having that mindset. Well, tell people where they can find you, Tim.
Yeah, so they can find my book on Amazon. So if they just search "You Can Sell Your Art" by Tim Packer, it pops up. And if they're interested in my online art academy, it's www.timpackerartacademy.com. And if they're interested in my art, my originals or prints of my work, that's at timpacker.com.
And his artwork is beautiful. Definitely check that out. Thanks for joining us today. And if you're interested in becoming an author, we can help you write, publish, and market your book and make you an international bestseller. I'm Melanie Johnson. Keep writing, everybody. We'll see you next time.
If you want to write a book and become a best-selling author, you're in the right place. At Elite Online Publishing, we can help you create, publish, and market your book so that it becomes a #1 bestseller. We work with a limited number of authors to ensure that they receive the best possible service. So if you want to learn how to write and publish a book that will empower you to smartly grow your brand, business, and credibility, apply today. We look forward to working with you.